the one thing that really got away was...
I just wanna have fun, turn around now.
Today we are here with Luke, and Luke's going to show us around your collection, aren't you, Luke?
I am indeed, yeah.
So you're going to show us your favourite 3 pieces of memorabilia. So what do we have here then?
So yeah, this is off the nose cone of an RS19. This is the first piece of F1 memorabilia that I kind of got my hands on that has actually been used.
See, yeah, you can see bits of paint that's been like, you know, where it's been used on the track.
Yeah, there's a real kind of a lovely knowledge that this has been on a car that you've seen going around the track. There's a, you know, a real genuine authenticity to it, and even to the marks that are on the kind of inside. Chassis number 7. I love the fact that it's got J written on it, which I'm going to assume is one of the mechanics, but I don't know who J is. But there's something, you know, it's those little things that prove that this is something real. For me, it's all about that. I guess it's feeling that you've got part of something. We all know that the kind of each manufacturer spends millions developing a car, and you've got a bit of that.
You've got a bit of it, yeah.
You've got a bit of that value. Have something that you know has been there and been used. I'm a huge fan of Formula 1 and everything it stands for. And yeah, this was my first kind of genuine piece of an authentic piece of an F1 car.
Tell me about these skateboards then, Luke.
Yeah, very simple. Big fan of Stranger Things. Because of my line of work, I'm attracted to, you know, the kind of visual appeal of these. I think they're really striking. There's definitely, you know, a visual attraction for these ones.
There's quite an eclectic collection.
Yeah, it's pretty varied. Some stuff kind of stems from childhood, Transformers, things like that, and then other things I like to support quirky artists. So I've got a kind of Joan Cornella. I've got a few kind of art pieces and a few structural pieces. He's got quite a good sense of humour. He's quite a new artist, so they usually produce 300 pieces, and then there's a limited time that you get to purchase the piece, and then you have to wait until the piece has been produced. Okay. Very similar with this piece. You know, it's pre, so you basically buy it before it's actually been created, and then you wait. It's usually about 6 months.
Tell me about what we've got.
This is where my love for motorsport started.
Are these working models?
We'll find out.
We'll find out later.
I found a company that built the track for me, which is loosely based on rally meets Formula 1. I'd had a couple cars, and then I guess the addiction of collecting kicked in, and then I quickly had about 60 before the track had turned up.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You were so excited.
Yeah, and then found out that a lot of them weren't actually made for the track that we had built. So I think the more modern track has a slightly inner section, so the bits that are underneath won't actually fit. These pieces had to be thinned out to make them actually fit on the track.
Oh, so you've had these altered then to fit on your track?
Yeah. So this one here, which isn't as glamorous of a car as any of the other ones, but when I was younger, there was a very basic Metro set, and this is one of the original cars from that set. It's awful. It's an absolute dog around the track. The tyres are falling off of it because it's just had so much abuse. But this particular piece is one that really reminds me of being, you know, 30 odd years younger than I am now.
I also noticed this giant Formula 1 wheel here as well.
That's another strong piece. A huge patina on the tyre. The tyre looks like it's seen better days, and it's probably been a bit worn since you know, 2018. It's a championship winning year for Mercedes, and re-engineered as a coffee table. It just works beautifully in the studio. There's no tread left at all. I mean, it's probably a slick to start with, so there probably wasn't tread on it much, but you could just tell that
you can see it.
It's been abused.
All the scratchings and stuff.
Yeah.
Pirelli sign. Before we move on to your number 1 piece, what's your holy grail? Is there something out there you're trying to get or you just can't find?
Well, besides an actual Formula 1 car, there is a piece that actually I'm in the process of trying to kind of get my hands on, which is a 1993 Jurassic Park pinball machine. One's come about, and I'm in the process of convincing my wife it's a great purchase and it's an investment, something for the children. So lying, basically. That's the one thing that is kind of I really want to get my hands on.
Is there any piece of memorabilia that's got away?
The one thing that really got away was, and I bid on it as well, was I came across a website that sells movie props. In the first Jurassic Park film, one of the opening scenes when they're bringing in the dinosaurs, and it's in like a cage. That actual cage was on for sale on one of these auctions, and I bid 9,000 for it.
Wow.
Even inquired, because it was in the States, so I inquired about getting it shipped over, and sadly, only due to the communication of trying to get it shipped, I got outbid. But I was too worried to bid a certain amount, and then what would the shipping cost be? So I let it go, and it's the one thing. I mean, you know, I was going to turn it into an office in the bottom of my house.
It was that big?
It's huge. What an amazing but yeah, I don't know how my wife would have felt about that, but yeah, that's the one thing, you know, where can you find that again? That's not a race-used wheel. I believe it's what inspired the prize for qualifying.
Oh, the pole positional one?
Yes.
Oh,
yep.
That's quite cool.
So yeah, I mean, again, it's just a cool piece. Because I work in design and advertising, having something from a brand that we could repurpose was something I always wanted, and then this came up. It was the only 2 words that we could create using all of the letters from the word Burger King without leaving 1 or 2 out. When I picked it up, I think the guy selling it wanted me to be as incognito as I could be collecting it. So I don't know where he got it from and how he got it, but
okay.
Yeah, enough said.
Talk us through the final piece of today.
Okay, so this is a 2018 race used brake disc from Mercedes, and for me, this is my favourite piece. I'm a huge Mercedes fan. This year, Hamilton won, so it's, you know that you've got the pedigree of a race-winning driver, but also it's the most beautiful re-engineered piece. One way that I gauge it is that I've got pieces at home that aren't allowed in the main part of the house, but my wife would be more than happy to have a couple of these in our lounge. You've still got this kind of worn patina.
You can really see it, can't you?
You know, this particular piece that is currently my favourite piece, it's led me to discover that there's many more re-engineered pieces out there, and there's actually one that I've got my eye on. All being well, the collection will continue to grow.